everybody interested in Greater Hartford families' successes. I'm Mark Stewart. I wanted to comment about some things that you had comments about when a candidate was addressing you earlier. That candidate is someone I have great respect for. Muad Razi is doing the right thing. We have differences in the role of government, but I do think Muad, by challenging the establishment, the government that doesn't do very much right, makes promises that it doesn't keep, has longtime senators and congressmen, he's running against one of them, who are fat and happy on their laurels and don't have a very good incentive to do the right thing for us. They deserve a challenge. And if Muad doesn't make challenge within the Democrat primary, I have a likely endorsement from my little party, the Epic Party. You can see more of that at epic-party.us. Last year's endorsements are there. We'll put up ours in September. So 4 things from, I believe, one very astute commenter. I'm sorry I didn't catch your name, but addressing, in North Hartford especially, crime, graduation rates, minority contract, and teen pregnancy. Let me address 3 of the 4 of them. I'm actually in Blue Hills as we speak. And when I was listening to the conference, I was here and in North Hartford. The crime is best done with real enforcement. That means even juveniles who are stealing catalytic converters, they're going to jail for a good amount of time, maybe with really bad dudes who hopefully scare them straight. Do not give them a pass, otherwise they go back to their handlers and get on another job. Hey, no problem, paid a fine, spent 1 night in jail, and I'm back to getting $200 for every catalytic that I lift. Can't do that. Tough enforcement, even if we feel for the kid, we should do well for the kid. Now, I don't think Muad really addressed the actual problems. He was talking about cycles of violence, as if the problems in Hartford were like mafia style. No, the problems are domestic abuse that doesn't get reined in. The problems are selling drugs to kids. The problems are juvenile crime that festers. It's not a cycle of violence thing. And some solutions, one is really put people in jail. Don't handcuff police who are there to handcuff real perpetrators. And ideally, deter perpetrators. That is the best function of police. Muad's party's leaders have been in the defund the police movement. It's stupid policy that has hurt especially African-American families in urban places. Graduation rates. I can address this somewhat because I am an educator, but I have not been in urban schools, so it's a bit remote for me, but I do know this, that when kids don't find value in their middle school or high school, they should drop out. I mean, it is better to make money working, and maybe even on the street illegally, compared to doing nothing productive in school. Now, how do you make school more productive? You get rid of the miscreants, okay? There's a few people there in every class that don't want to learn. Get rid of them. Because they're taking away people's attention. They're keeping good kids who do want to learn from learning well. They're even making good kids feel out of it just because they want to learn. The best thing about private school, I was privileged enough to go up in Windsor to a private day school. And the big difference between private school and West Hartford's public schools was it was okay to be smart. It was okay to want to learn. And the gulf there versus Hartford's public schools is ridiculously bad. So get rid of incorrigible kids. We have no duty to keep them in school. 3 strikes, you are out. Involve the parents or not. These kids need to conform so that other kids' learning is not impeded. That third issue, minority contracting, I don't know much about it, but I can say it clearly is a breakdown in government because this is a government program meant for the best of reasons to overcome a lot of discrimination. And if it's not working because of the people in government not listening or the bureaucrats not getting things through, this does need to be rectified. Now, who can rectify it? An independent who wins office far better than a Democrat or a Republican. So once again, if Muad makes it through as an independent and not a Democrat, I think actually those purposes are more likely to get fulfilled than with a easy come, meaning easy election for John Larson that he's had for the last 20 years and not as much incentive to change. Minority contracting is a worthy thing, and it should work even irrespective of set-asides for African Americans, because on the whole, most employers would like to hire domestically rather than illegal immigrants. I can say I know a lot about teen pregnancy, and that is so searing because of horrible government policy for the last 60 years, okay? You will hear this from me routinely, that many of our problems stop if we end government welfare. Teen pregnancy is greatly heightened because when the government replaces a husband, many women have no need for a husband, okay? When a gal can get almost rent-free housing, free food, free cell phone, very discounted health care plans, what do you need a man for? So, divorce rates or just plain not getting married is very high. Now, especially in urban places, the single mom has seen her own teenage daughter as a threat to her. How many girls are kicked out of the home at the slightest instance of, she's going after my new man? Now, out of the home with no father in the first place and no mother as a guide, there's a lot of girls who will look to a man at age 15, 16, 17. And once again, welfare doesn't keep that man around, does he? Okay? He is free to inseminate many kids with no consequences. When we change government policy, we improve our culture. When we get rid of dumb policies, even though they have an element of feel better, we need to instead do better. And thoughtfulness may mean a little bit of harder times to get an uplift in every family. All right, thanks for listening. I'd love to hear more from you. I'm Mark Stewart.